Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here, and I'm late in getting this review to you, and I do apologize for that, but I did think it was fitting after talking about Maze Runner that I should talk about yet another young adult novel, that movie based off a young adult novel that was set in a post-apocalyptic future. And in this case, we're talking about Divergent, where here we have the world after a catastrophe happened, and everybody's been divided into 5 factions based on the 5 virtues. So you got Erudite, who is like the very brainiac, and the Dauntless, who are the soldier guys, and you got all these different factions, and everybody grows up in these factions to a certain point. Then they take the test to where they are decided which faction they are going to live the rest of their lives in. Well, when we get Triss takes the test, and we come to find out she doesn't fit into any faction, which means she could be in any faction, and certain governing bodies find this dangerous, and soon she uncovers a plot that is out there for some governing bodies to kill the Divergents, and we see how she tries to uncover this plot and find out why she and others like her are such a threat to their society. Divergent. I enjoyed this for the performances, one of Shailene Woodley and Zoe Kravitz, Kate Winslet, Ray Stevenson in here. There's a great group of actors in here, and everybody does really well, okay? Now, I didn't read the books, again, a little bit out of my age range, though I may go back and read them after seeing this film, just because I'm curious. But I did love the Triss character, played by Woodley. She really brought this vulnerability, yet strength, that I felt was needed for this character, considering where she came from and what she ended up choosing, which was this Dauntless soldier group, which you can see in the trailer, not really a spoiler there. I really loved the polar opposites that her character had to deal with, and the growth of her character as well. We do get character growth in here, which sometimes can be abandoned in movies like this, so really enjoyed that bit. She had decent chemistry with the other performers on screen, namely the kind of romantic, well, not kind of, the romantic love interest slash commander 4, played by Theo James. I liked his character all right, though you always get that impression from him that and I think it was fitting for the character, that he couldn't really express his emotions. He kind of had one look on his face. Now, not quite as bad as Robert Pattinson, say, in the Twilight series, but there was just a little bit of trouble with emotion, I think, coming across. But again, that could be because of the way his character was supposed to be. It was a little hard to read his character, but still enjoyed the scenes that he was in, especially with Shailene Woodley. Now you get Ashley Judd in here as well, and Jai Courtney in here. Just got a great group of people. Now this story, this world that they set in, very interested. I was engrossed in that, okay? Loved the setup of this film for the first part of how they set up the society and how things were. Really interesting, and could see them go really a number of different ways with this. And I will say I enjoyed how this story played out, though I think they could have did it a lot shorter time span than they did. And part of that, though, is with the romantic interest feeling kind of like it was shoehorned in there. I understand that the main character in this is Triss, and she's female. Doesn't mean we need to necessarily have a romantic interest for the female, young adult movie or not. They could have easily had some of the conflicts and some of the challenges she faced with her group of friends. They didn't necessarily need to throw the romance angle in there, though I do understand it plays a part at the end a little more, but I think still they could have handled that differently, not put the standard shoehorn romance in there, and even had a better film and story than what they had here. So it was a little slow, but one thing's picked up in the third act. I really got into this film. Again, I'm not exactly the target demographic for it, but I will tell you that it was worth the wait, because when you really started to get things going and factions and seeing how the plot actually comes out and why the Divergents are a bit of a threat, at least to one of the factions, I really enjoyed how that played out. So, there were some pluses and minuses in there. Minuses, I I like romance. Don't get me wrong. I'm a romantical guy. I like romance. But I didn't feel it was needed in this film. I think it actually took just a little bit away from a really strong sci-fi story, and the character of Triss, I think, would have been even a little bit better had they not tried to put that romantical angle in there. I love the conflicts between people in here, the kind of surprise in the third act of how things were going to play out, and it is dark. Okay, now this is a PG-13 film, but they do deal with some dark subjects as well. This isn't exactly handling it with kid gloves, so I did appreciate that too. For me, Divergent was a decent young adult film, though I think a couple other out there did it a lot better. One of them was Maze Runner, and well, The Giver, which I will bring you my review soon of that, I think handled it much better than Divergent, but I still give Divergent 3 stubs, okay? 3 stubs for Divergent. Makes me want to see what the next film is going to be like, with where this story goes, because they are trying to do it as a series, I do believe, and I'm very curious of how it played out, because the way the ending was, I was like, okay, you know, again, I think that was partly due to that love interest that they felt the need to put in there, which I don't think was actually needed. So, check out Divergent. I'm sure many of you have seen it. I may be way off base. If I so, let me know down below. Love to hear your comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe. We are growing in subscriptions, and it's because of your support that I'm doing this. So, remember, folks, till next time, keep that ticket stub.